And I want to go back to you, though, because you're the guest of honor here, right?
Do we really? Can we talk about somebody else?
So we kind of left off and trailed off into Ricard and whatever else with you at Maine. You guys are best friends, stepbrothers, lifting buddies.
So I moved in with him.
Yep.
And then we spent a year together. And then he left. And this is what I'm glad that you did that, Aaron, because this is why you're professional.
Right.
He's a professional.
They're both
the professionals
do what they're supposed to do. If it was just me, you'd be 5 hours
Get
later.
over here. I'm just like, get this guy a water. So shut up for a second. I do have a water. But so the one thing I want to say before we talk about anything else in Maine, if we do, is he taught me quickly, and I think a lot of guys forget what you're there for in the NFL is to work. And that's what it is, right? If you have that mentality, you stay for a while. I mean, maybe you should have only stayed 3 years and maybe you stay 5, but 2 extra years in the NFL is pretty decent, I would say.
Right.
Right? You know, where are you going to make that money anywhere else? But I remember talking to him when he was first a rookie and started to talk to him about, you were playing the Ravens one time, and I remember watching him play the Cowboys, which we should talk about that later. Him and what was the old lineman?
Leonard Davis.
Oh gosh, that dude was huge. You remember Leonard Davis?
Yeah.
He just beat the living tar out of him as a rookie. But anyways, get Big Leonard on here. I'll tell him the same thing because we got a lot of distance.
It's a long way to Lincoln from Dallas.
Great players, you guys, exactly right. Hopefully he doesn't know where I live. I don't live in Lincoln, but he taught me the thing that was the most valuable lesson that he taught me was, when you get into wherever you go, get in with the strength coach. I love strength coaches anyway. You don't have to, but it made it so it was in the forefront of my mind at all times. And these guys really do advocate for you because they're in all these meetings. Yeah. And if you can have one guy that's always pounding the drum for you,
right,
it's gonna get in these coaches' mind. And the thing was, every place that I went, that was what I did. I always made sure that I would try to be something that they could say, okay, this guy helps out in here. Big deal. He's always coming to work. He always brings his lunch pail. And that was something that he taught me. And what it did, though, too, was it bred something into me that it carried over in the off season. So then in the off season, I wasn't just trying to go and hang out with people or go and do all of these crazy things that some guys do that not necessarily that I wanted to do anyways. But you never know what you might get yourself into, because now all of a sudden you get the shield on the front of you. And everybody knows you play in the league, especially if you come back to small Orono, Maine. And you're hanging out with your buddies that you once were in college with just a year ago.
Right.
So, what it did was like, I get work to do. Like, I got to go back in and show the strength coach that I've made some gains. I got to go back in, and if I'm going to play next year, if I'm going to stay on the team, and that was always his mentality. He always felt like he was going to get cut even when he signed enormous deals. I'm going to get cut. They're cutting me tomorrow. I had this one bad play. You should have seen it. It was like he had like one misstep.
I still wake
Instead
up
of
and
taking a
remember
6-inch step, it was a 4-inch step. That's it. They're cutting me.
40 years after my career, and they still haunt me. I don't remember any of it.
But that's what made you good, though. Like, I always have to talk you off a ledge. But the thing was, it was like, that's what made you great, was the fact that there was nothing that you were satisfied with. But he bred that into me, because I didn't really understand football really at that point. I didn't really know like really what it took still to be great at football. He did.
It
He
been
played it for so
three
long.
years playing the game, period.
I had no idea. I was still barely getting into a stance when I got to the Dolphins. I was
What's
like,
incredible.
Oh, this is a 3-point stance? Great.
They didn't teach me this.
This is also a 3-point
Teach me how to
stance.
dug it. No, don't teach me.